Hey, it's Alexis, and today I thought it would be fun to do the mid-year book tag. There's 15 questions, and I have them all typed out on my iPad here, so if you see me looking over here, that's why. So let's go ahead and start answering 15 questions. Also, if you hear thunder, I think it's about to start raining, so I guess ignore that. Anyway, let's get started. Question number 1 is the best book that you've read so far this year, and I can't confidently pick one, so I have 2. So we have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, which if you have not read this book, it is a book about idiots. That is Frederick Bachman's words, not mine. And it's also a book about a bank robbery turned into a hostage situation. I don't know what it was about this book, but I loved it. And then secondly, we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This book is about Samantha and Xavier. Samantha works for some type of ad company. She runs an Instagram for some mustard. I know it sounds really weird, but it's a big plot point. Then Xavier is a vet. The two of them meet when Samantha finds a kitten and brings the kitten into the vet's office to be seen by Xavier. The two of them have a really bad first meeting. Like, they do not get along at all. But eventually he apologizes to her and they end up going out on this like perfect date. It's like the best date either of them have ever had. And they feel like there's chemistry between the two of them. They feel like it's going to lead to more, when suddenly Samantha's like, sorry, might as well just forget about me because I have to move across the country. I have to go take care of my mom. And he was like, wait, what do you mean move? What do you mean forget about you? And she's like, yeah, this is not going to work. Bye. So now he's spending all of his free time and all of his money trying to make a relationship work between the two of them. I really loved this book, but I can understand why some people didn't. Now that I'm like talking about it more, it does sort of feel like this relationship is more one-sided than it is both of them involved, if that makes any sense. It feels like he's trying a little harder than she is. But I still really loved this book. You guys hear that? Crazy. That thunder was loud. Okay, anyway, question number 2 is, what is the best sequel you've read so far this year? So I have to say, hands down, the best sequel I've read so far this year would be Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which I don't really know if you can fully consider it a sequel. It says it's book 2 in the Part of Your World series, but it can also be read as a standalone. That thunder's interrupting my thoughts. Anyway, since it can be read as a standalone, I don't know if you guys want me to consider it as a series or not, so I picked a few others as well. But if you have not read Yours Truly, it is about Brianna and Jacob. They're doctors at this hospital. Brianna is currently going through a divorce, and I'm so proud of her because she's literally divorcing the worst man ever. But she's also having to deal with the fact that her brother is on a transplant list for a new kidney. So she's having to take care of him while also dealing with the stress of going through divorce. When we have Jacob, who's moving to this new hospital, none of his coworkers seem to like him so far. On his first day, he's also dealing with the fact that his ex-girlfriend is now about to marry his brother. Talk about awkward. And this man also has to deal with severe anxiety. I've never felt more seen than I have reading this book. Jacob is literally me. Oh my gosh. Jacob is literally me, but in male form. I don't think that I could ever have found a more perfect guy in any universe. Like, he's the sweetest guy ever, and I just love their relationship. But since I don't know if I can count that as the best sequel, we also have Legendary by Stephanie Garber, which is book 2 in the Caraval series. I'm pretty sure I just saw lightning over there. If you have not read that series, Caraval is a book about Scarlett and Donatella, who are sisters. They get this invitation to go to Caraval, which is like a giant game, basically. And the point of it is to complete all of the missions and like puzzles and get to the end. Scarlett has to play Caraval to save Donatella. And during this, she finds out who she can really trust And some of the things that she thought she knew, she finds out were actually fake, or vice versa. So that book was so good. But then the second one wasn't, I didn't feel like as connected to it as the first one, but I still really enjoyed it. I would still recommend the whole series. Then we also have Spy Family Volume 2. I still can't pronounce this author's name, but I love this series. I need to go out and buy the third one, like, soon, because the second one left off on a cliffhanger. So this is about this master spy named Twilight, and he gets this mission that he has to complete, but in order to complete it, he has to have a family. So he goes out and adopts a child, and he finds a wife, and then it turns out that his wife is an assassin, and his daughter is a telepath. So this whole family has a lot of crazy stuff going on. And it's just a fun time. And like I said, I really need to go read the third one. And then this last one for this category, I'm still in the middle of reading it, but I wanted to include it anyway. It is No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding by Catherine Mack, which is book 2 in the murder mystery series, I believe is what it's called. In book 1, it's about this author named Eleanor who's writing a murder mystery series. And it's been 10 years since the first book was released. So she's going on this like book tour in Italy to celebrate. And while she's there, someone is trying to kill her and like the people that she's with. So instead of just solving a murder like in the books that she writes, she now has to solve a murder in real life. And it was so much fun. And this book so far is shaping up to be just as fun as the first one. So I'm really excited to finish it. And I can't wait for the next one that comes out, I believe, next year. Question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to? And I have a few for that. So first we have Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Xing. This book is giving me Yellowface by R.F. Kuang vibes. If you've read that book, you know it's about this woman who steals a manuscript, basically, and writes it off as her own. And Julie Chan is Dead, this is the story of Julie Chan. She just lives this like normal, boring life as she would consider it. She feels like she really has nothing to live for. And she has a twin sister named Chloe. Chloe is like this famous influencer and feels like she has a perfect life and her life's together. And I'm pretty sure Julie is jealous of her. Well, one day Julie finds Chloe dead. And instead of telling the police that Chloe died, Julie decides she's going to become Chloe and tell the police that she is dead. It just sounds like it's going to be so much fun. And it's literally giving me Yellowface vibes, but instead of stealing a manuscript, she's stealing a life. Like, I'm so excited to read that one. And then we also have Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey and Peach K. The way that this book was described to me was it's a mixture of The Little Mermaid and Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't think you can find a more perfect book than that. I just really need to push myself to read it, because I've been a little scared that I was putting more hype on it and that I wouldn't like it because of that. But I need to get over that and just read it. Lastly, in this category, we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is the story of Margaret, who grew up as the youngest child in this, I guess, like the most scandalous family of the 20th century, I guess is how you would describe her family. Everyone had heard of them, everyone knew who they were, whatever. And then suddenly she just like dropped off the face of the earth for a while. Now it's going to be the first time that anyone has seen or heard from her. And she comes out basically nowhere. She comes out of basically nowhere and is like, I want a biography written about me. So she invites Alice and Hayden to this like island, I guess, to compete to see which one of them is going to be able to write the biography of her life. And this is giving me the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo vibes because of the biography and like you actually hear the story of her life. There's no competition in Seven Husbands, but other than that, it's giving similar vibes. And I really loved that book, so I think I'm really going to like this one as well. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? And I have 4 of them. So first we have Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter, which comes out on July 15th. So this says that it's a millionaire and a house cleaner falling in love. Okay, sign me up. I didn't even read any of the summary. I just saw that part and I was like, okay, count me in. Then we have Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which comes out on July 29th. This is the second book in the spin-off series of the Inheritance games by her. I've been waiting a whole year to figure out the cliffhanger that the first one left off on. So this one better not disappoint me. Next, we have Rules for Fake Girlfriends by Reagan Reverd. Yes, the Reagan Reverd. This is going to be a young adult novel, and it's going to tell the story of Avery. Avery was about to go start her freshman year of college at Columbia when her mother passes away. So she decides, instead of continuing her path, she's now going to go to her mother's alma mater. And she finds out that when her mother was there, she left a scavenger hunt on campus, and she really wants to complete it. She meets Charlie, who Charlie asks Avery if she will fake date her to make her ex jealous, and in return, she will help her do the scavenger hunt. It just sounds like it's going to be a cute, fun little time. So now it's raining, so let's go finish this video in the house. Lastly, for this question, we have Fake Skating by Lynn Painter, which comes out on September 30th. And this is also a young adult book. It involves Danny and Alec. Danny and Alec were best friends until Danny moved away. And then years later, she moves back to town and she's excited to see her old friend. But it seems that Alec has changed a lot. And he is now like one of the stars on the hockey team. That makes him like super popular around town, and he's like loving all the attention. And then somehow the two of them, like, I guess, get seen together or something and end up people thinking that they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So they're fake dating. And it just sounds like it's going to be a fun time. So I'm excited to read that one. Question number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment this year? And I have a few of them. So first off, we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I really wanted to love this one so bad because I loved most of her other works. This one just ended up being a DNF for me. And I feel like it was more of the plot. I know that this one was like a lot spicier than her other books, and I'm not a huge spice person, but that wasn't even what was getting to me. It was literally the plot. So it's about this girl named Scarlett. She was friends with this girl named Penelope, or Pen as they called her. Pen was dating this guy, but they decided to break up because they were into different things sexually, which that's fine. I guess that's a normal reason to break up with people. Then Penelope did something that really bothered me. She tried to push Scarlett and her ex-boyfriend together because they were into the same thing sexually. In my opinion, I would never push one of my friends to date my ex. Like, that's just kind of weird to me. And I really couldn't read about that anymore. So I ended up DNFing the book. The next one that I was let down by was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I've heard nothing but amazing reviews about this book, so I went into it so excited for it, and it let me down. This woman was super judgmental. Like, every little thing that she could judge about somebody, she was doing it. And then try to turn around and say that she wasn't judgmental. Excuse me, but am I reading about your correct life then? Or was that a fake life because you were judgmental? And her mother was even more judgmental. Like, I didn't think that was possible, but her mother was horrible. I didn't like that book. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars, and it's probably going to be one of my next unhauls because I could not stand it. Another one that let me down was Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I never read a book by Alex Astor before this one. I know that she wrote the Lightlark series, and I owned the first 2 of that series, and now I don't know if I want to read them. Summer in the City was about this girl named Elle, who's a screenwriter, writing a movie about something in New York, I believe. While she's sitting in New York, because she decides that in order for her to write the best screenplay, she has to visit the place that she's writing about. So while she's sitting there in New York and staying in this apartment, she finds out that her neighbor, next door neighbor to this apartment she's staying in, is this guy that she had a random stairwell makeout with years prior, and she just kind of hated him, and that helped her fuel all of her screenwriting since then. I don't know, that was kind of strange to me, but I didn't like this book, and I don't really know fully what it was about it besides the writing. It felt to me like the writing was kind of childish and immature. And then it also, at the same time, felt like she had a good idea for this plot, but she didn't execute it completely well. Parts of it felt underdone, I guess. So now I'm just kind of scared to read another book by her because I don't know if it's going to feel the same way or not. So if you've read Lightlark and you really liked it, convince me to read it because right now I'm kind of scared. Another book that disappointed me was The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Again, this is one that I've heard a lot of positive reviews about. And just by the synopsis alone, it made me so interested to read it. So it was about this woman who died because she choked on a microwavable hamburger, I believe. And as she's in the waiting room for, I guess, heaven or whatever, she meets this guy and it feels like they're soulmates. Well, suddenly it turns out that guy was there by mistake. He wasn't supposed to be dead. So he gets ejected basically from the waiting room and goes back down to earth. And she's like, well, if you just sent him back, can't you send me back? But she's in charge of the new deaths when they come in. She gets to decide where they go, basically. She was like, okay, we're not supposed to do this, but if I give you a task that you have to complete, I can send you back down to earth. So for my own entertainment, I want you to go find this man. You have 10 days to do it, and you have to kiss him in order to stay alive. Otherwise, you have to come back up here and help me. So she's sent down to earth and has 10 days to find this guy that she was just talking to in the waiting room, and he has no memories of her whatsoever. So he doesn't even know who she is. So she has 10 days to try to find him and get him to kiss her. It just sounded like such an amazing plot, but the way that it was executed, I didn't like it. I don't know what it was fully about this book, but I was just so let down and disappointed by it. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating at all. I was thinking I was giving it 5 stars, and then it just didn't happen. So I was really disappointed by that. Question number 6 is, what is the biggest surprise that you've had so far this year? And I have 4 for that question. So first we have A 5-Letter Word for Love by Amy James. This is Amy James' debut novel. She has a second book coming out in July. Be on the lookout for it. This book was about Wordle. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The mobile app game, Wordle. I was kind of really concerned that I wasn't going to like it based off of that as well. But it turns out the way that she did it, she executed the plot perfectly, and I was obsessed with it. I really cannot wait to read more by this author. Next, we have It's a Date Again by Geneva Rose. I've never heard anyone talk about this book. I've heard them talk about The Perfect Marriage and The Perfect Divorce by her, but never this one. This is her romance book. I don't know if it's her only one or what, but I had it on my shelf and I was like, let's give this one a shot. See if I like it. And I liked it so much more than I thought I was going to. I ended up giving it 4 stars. That is insane for a book I didn't think I was going to like. So that book is about this girl named Peyton who gets hit by a car and wakes up in the hospital with amnesia. She has amnesia so bad that she can't even remember her own name. When suddenly these 3 guys show up at the hospital, all claiming to be her boyfriend. So her best friend has this idea to make her date each one of them again to see which of these men is the one that she loved and that she was actually in a relationship with. The book was just so funny and I just really loved it. I don't know how else to describe it. I loved this book way more than I thought I was going to. So that was really a big surprise. And then we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I read that book in January. I think about it daily. Might have to reread it soon because I think about it so often. And I still could not tell you what that book was. I really can't. I really loved that book. And I had heard people say that you might not like this book because it's a weird plot. I loved it. Like I said, I literally think I want to reread it again this year. I know that's kind of crazy, but I think I want to do it. So it's about this woman who is with her best friend when her friend dies unexpectedly, and she steals this unfinished manuscript by her friend, changes it, and publishes it as her own. That's beyond crazy. But the way that this story is told is you are in her point of view, so you're seeing things the way she is. She doesn't feel like she stole a manuscript. She feels like she took something that belonged to her. She was jealous of her friend's success because she didn't have the same success. She felt that it was owed to her, So she took back what was hers. So she thought in her head. And just like being able to be in somebody's head who's thinking like that was insane. And I loved it. Like, I really loved it. So if this Julie Chan is Dead book is anything similar to that one, I'm going to love it as well. I think I need to do a reread of Yellowface really soon. Please read that book if you haven't already. And the last one in this category is actually going to be Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I know that it's weird that that's one of the best books I've read this year, and it's also the most surprising, but it really is. So in 2023, I read A Man Called Ove, or however you say it. I know it's pronounced different, but that's the way I say it in my head. I read that in 2023, hated it, could not get into it. I loved the movie that came out, the Americanized version of that book. I loved that movie, A Man Called Otto, I think. Loved it. Hated the book. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was his writing, the way that the character was portrayed. I don't know. Could not stand the book. So in my head, without really knowing or like thinking about it, I kind of pushed him off as an author. I didn't want to read anymore. But then I decided to pick up Anxious People, and I'm so glad that I did because I absolutely loved that book. It surprised me a lot more than I thought it was going to. I went from giving A Man Called Ove 2.5 stars to giving Anxious People 5 stars. And it's the same author. So now I'm like in the middle of this like love-hate relationship with Frederick Bachman. So I need to read more of his books to see if I actually like him or if this book was a fluke. Question number 7 is, who is your new favorite author? It can either be a debut author or a new to you author. And I have 3. So first we have Amy James. Like I said, she has a new book coming out in July. It's called Crash Test. I'm so excited for it. It's an F1 racing book. Yeah, count me in. Then we also have R.F. Kuang. I definitely need to read more by her. Like I said, I was obsessed with Yellowface. I need something else. Let me know your favorite R.F. Kuang book so that I can pick out my next read. And then lastly, we have Bryn Weaver. I was not expecting to like Butcher and Blackbird as much as I did. So I'm so excited to finish that series and read more by this author. Question number 8 is, who is your newest fictional crush? That has to be Jacob from yours truly. Like, hands down, it's Jacob. It could not be anybody else. Like I said before, he's literally me, but in male form. I love that man. Question number 9 is, what is a book that made you cry? Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. And I still could not tell you why I was crying. I think it was just the way that all the characters became a family. Basically, like, they all got along so well, became great friends, really tight-knit, close group of people. And it just made me happy and made me cry. Literally, by the end of this book, I was bawling my eyes out, though. Loved it. We also have Say You'll Remember Me for this one. This book was just so sad. I don't know what Abby put in this book, but it was literally so sad and so emotionally draining. But I also loved every freaking second of reading it. This book had me bawling and gasping so many times, but I didn't want to put it down. I loved it. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Question 10 is the opposite. It's, what's a book that made you laugh so far this year? And I have a few for that one as well. So first up, we have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This book is hilarious. So it's about this woman named Vera Wong who owns a tea shop. It's not the most well-known tea shop, and I think she has like max 3 customers a day. One day she goes downstairs to start her day and open the tea shop, and she finds a dead body on the floor of her tea shop. So she calls the police to like investigate and figure out what happened, but she doesn't like how long the police are taking, and she doesn't think they're doing their job properly. So she goes out by herself and finds herself some suspects and starts trying to figure out this murder all on her own. And I just love her. She's just so hilarious. Please read that book if you haven't already. And I'm so excited to read book 2 that came out this year. And then we have Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. So I've been seeing this book around for years, and I just never picked it up because I was like, this cover's too cute. It's gonna disappoint me. I don't know what it is, but sometimes the books with the prettiest covers that like I'm obsessed with, I end up not liking them. I know that sounds really strange, but it's true. So I put this one off because I was like, I'm not going to like it. As much as I feel like I want to like this book, I'm not going to like it. Well, I ended up loving it. I got it from the library, so I need to go buy myself a physical copy at some point, but I ended up giving it 4 stars. So this book is about Savannah. Savannah's goal is to become an author, so she's currently writing a manuscript. She's also currently working in book publishing, but the publishing house that she's working for mainly publishes nonfiction books, so even if she wanted to, she couldn't have them publish her manuscript because she's writing a romance book. Well, one day during a meeting, she ends up dropping the manuscript on the floor and like the pages just fly everywhere. Her new boss ends up seeing the first page of her manuscript and he reads it and gives her this look and she's like, oh man, I'm in trouble. So she decides to take her manuscript up to, I guess, like one of the upper floors of their building and she shoves it in a file cabinet so that she doesn't think about it and doesn't have to be embarrassed that it happened. Like, she can just forget about it. She's going to leave it there for a while, whatever. Well, she decides, I think it's like a day or two later, to come back up and grab it so she can take it home with her. And she finds it on the floor in front of the file cabinet with marks and stuff written in the margins. And she's like, who is writing on my manuscript? So she takes it home with her and reads through the notes and starts to write notes back, like of her own. They just keep doing that back and forth every day, and they decide that they're going to set up separate times for them to be in that room so they never meet each other to see who's doing it. So she's just having these random conversations with some random person helping her fix her book. And then when she finally gets the book the way that she wants it and it's perfection, they decide to meet face to face to see who's been leaving her all these notes. And it was just a really cute book. Like, I loved it. And I really didn't think I was going to. So I'm glad that I finally read it. Question 11 is, what is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year or that you've received? So first we have Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I'm so disappointed that I didn't like this book because the cover is so pretty. So there were 4 options for covers and I got the Target exclusive one because I liked that one the best. And I wanted so badly to love this book so that I could display that on my shelf. But since I didn't like it, I'm not going to display it. And it might be part of my next unhaul. And it makes me really sad. And then we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. So there is the cover that everyone has because it's just like the original cover. But then Target also came out with this exclusive cover. And that's the one I have because I liked it a lot more than the original cover. I just think it's so beautiful. And then lastly, it's No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding by Catherine Mack. I don't know what it is about her books, but the 2 that I've read, beautiful covers. Beautiful. So I'm really excited to see the 3rd one next year because I bet it's going to be just as gorgeous. Question number 12 is, what are some books that you need to read by the end of the year? And I think I have 5 listed. So these are books that have either been on multiple TBRs that I still haven't read, or there's the series that I'm going to talk about very last that I've never read in my life and I need to. So first we have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. At the time of filming this, I have not read it yet, even though it was on my June TBR. If you don't know what this is, it's basically the son of the President of the United States falls in love with the son of the Queen of England. They start out as enemies and then become lovers. Count me in. And there's a TV show or a movie. I don't remember which is which, but I think it's on Amazon Prime. So I really want to watch that, but I need to read the book first. Somebody convince me to read it. Thanks. Next we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This one is about this married couple whose marriage is basically falling apart. So they decide to separate and just focus on co-parenting their children. But then it feels like something just keeps bringing them back together and they feel like they should try again and try to see if they really do love each other. I read another book by her. I think it was called Long Shot. And I loved that book. So I have a feeling I'm going to like this one. I just need to read it. Next we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. And in this book, I think her name is Sigma, I think. She literally makes an alliance with death. Like, that just sounds so cool. And I've actually started this book. I got like 100 pages in and just stopped reading it. So convince me to continue to read it because I don't even know why I stopped. I was liking it. Convince me to read it. And then we have Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. Like I said before, I need to read more of his books to see if I actually like him as an author. And I've heard nothing but amazing things about the Beartown series, so that's the one that I want to read next. Basically, all I know about this series is that it revolves around this high school ice hockey team that's like the talk of the town and everyone in town is obsessed with it. Okay, I don't know a whole lot about ice hockey, but I'm down to learn, so count me in. I'm excited for this. And then the last in this category is the series I was talking about. This might surprise you guys, but I've never in my life read the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins, and I need to. So let me know if you guys would be down to see a reading vlog for that, because I really need to read it. And I'll even throw in the 2 new books as well. Like, I need to read this. Question 13 is, how many 5-star reads have you had so far this year? I've had 4. Like 4 new 5-star reads, and then I reread The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and gave that one a 5-star again. So I guess 5 if you count the reread. But so far we've had Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. And then if you count my reread, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Question 14 is, what books do you want to reread this year? Well, I would say 7 Husbands, but I just literally reread that. So first we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. If you've not read this book, please do. It's so good. It will start out a little slow, I will say that, but trust me, it gets better. So it's about this girl named Addie who makes this deal with the devil to basically live forever, but in return for that, she has to now live with nobody ever remembering her. And that gets really scary at times. Like, she'll check into a hotel for the night, and the person at the desk will turn their back from her, and then they'll see her again and they're like, who are you and why are you in this room? I didn't give you permission to be here. So like, she can't really do anything because nobody remembers her. But then suddenly one day some guy does remember her. It's such a good book. Please read it if you haven't already. Another one that I want to reread is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. And I really don't know why I want to reread this. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately. So I think that means I need to reread it. So this is about a weather girl at this news station. She's best friends with one of the sportscasters there. They both have cranky bosses. Turns out their bosses are actually divorced. And all they do is bicker and fight. But it feels like there's still like a love connection between the 2 of them. So the weather girl and the sportscaster decide that they're going to try to push these 2 back together to make them fall in love again. Such a fun time. And then question 15 is, what are your 5-star predictions for the rest of the year? So first we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Like I said, I really think I'm going to love this book. I just need the push to read it. So if you've read it, please tell me to read it if you think I'll like it. Then we have Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey and Peach K. Like I said, this is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I'm so excited to read it, but I feel like I'm just hyping myself up for it too much, and that I'm going to be disappointed if it's not meeting the expectations in my head. So somebody tell me to calm down, like regain control of myself, and just read it. And then we have Julie Chan is Dead by Lila Zing. Like I said before, I'm so excited for this one. And if it's anything like Yellowface, like it sounds like it's going to be to me, I'm going to love it. I know I am. Lastly, we have Beartown by Frederick Bachman. If this one is as good as people say it is, I know I'm going to give it 5 stars, especially after coming off of giving Anxious People 5 stars. So hopefully this guy is actually an author that I like and that this wasn't a fluke. That is my answers to all 15 of these questions. Let me know in the comments below what 5 stars you guys have read this year or what your 5-star predictions for the rest of the year are. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you truly enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.